Spoils or Conquest are an in-game currency in Destiny 2 that allow you to buy basically anything from raids. Basically anything from raids that you want, you use Spoils of Conquest to get them. And what are the best things to actually spend these Spoils of Conquest on? Well, it comes down to personal preference, and we'll be talking about some of the better options in this video. As well, at the end, we'll be going over how anybody, solo players, can go about getting Spoils of Conquest by themselves each week. A smooth 30 a week if you have 3 characters. Alright, real quick, let's go over and talk about some of the exotics that you can get with Spoils of Conquest over the exotic kiosk in the tower. Out of the exotics that you can get with Spoils, don't get the Legend of Acreus. That's a big no. Come on now. Terraba's on a low priority. Anarchy is kind of up there even after its nerf, but honestly, bro, the biggest one is definitely always on time because it's the fastest sparrow in the game by a landslide. Yeah, no cap options are kind of limited in this department, but whatever, it is what it is. So if you don't want to use any of your spoils on the exotics from the kiosk, then your choices basically come down to what kind of raid weapon you want, or if you're looking for a piece of raid armor to complete that set. Then it boils down to what are some of the better weapons to use your spoils on. Honestly, in my opinion, if you don't have any of the VOW raid weapons, I highly recommend getting a roll CP and go ahead spinning your spoils at the end of the chest. Try and get maybe a good cataclysmic for Barons or a submission. Granted, all of the raid weapons in this raid and the VOW Disciple obviously are all craftable, so if you get a red border, you're working towards that pattern. All the patterns for the raid weapons in VOW do cost a total of 5 red borders, so you are going to need a good amount, so I would try and focus on those 3. Now don't get me wrong, Vault of Glass has some really sweet gear. However, the thing about Vault of Glass and Master VOG actually drops time loss weapons that are way more useful than like Master VOW weapons, right? Like those adept weapons in VOW are useless in my opinion, versus the time loss weapons in VOG actually have a reason. Like everybody wants a time loss Fatebringer. People are going to farm Templar for a time loss Fatebringer. My main point here is that Master VOG actually drops weapons that people want and are actually farmable whenever the challenge rolls around, especially this season with rotating Pinnacle raids. It's going to be a lot easier to farm for those dedicated time loss weapons, and why I don't think you should use your spoils on them, versus VOW Master, there's not really a point to do it, whereas the normal versions can get crafted enhanced traits which are just way better and way more valuable. The only thing about focusing your spoils on raid weapons at the end of raids is that as a solo player, you have to get the raid weapon to drop for you first before you can even use your spoils to buy them at the end of the raid. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about how you can farm up solo spoils of Conquest. Now for the VOG one, you are going to need to have a little bit of Sparrow tech. Basically, when you're on your Sparrow, wedge yourself into this rock and then jump, and then as soon as you jump, immediately dash. If you do it right with the timing, it's actually going to put you out of the map, and when you do, you're going to want to swing to this rock, and you basically want to follow the path that I take here on screen. This one is definitely the most tricky, the first jump. I'm definitely going to use Heat Rises here on my Warlock to go ahead and get away, and then once you get past the first jump, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy where to go. That's definitely the hardest jump out of this whole little sequence. Quite the effort that you have to go in order to get this solo chest, but hey man, people will do anything for those solo spoils because people want that darn raid loot. Now once you get up here to this rock into this little platform right here, I was thinking about waiting for Heat Rise, but I was like, nah, we're good. You're just gonna want to dash to this slanted edge right here, and then you're just gonna want to book it straight along this wall. And basically what you're going to do is once you get to the edge, you're going to see a message that says the Vex are taking over a sync plate. You're basically in the right area, and once you do see that little message, you can just go ahead, jump right off, bro, and you're gonna hit a loading zone. When you hit this loading zone, one of two things is gonna happen. You're either gonna spawn right outside the map, or you're gonna fall straight down. Either way, you want to die, because what happens when you die? Look, you spawn in the Trial of Kabir, my bad, dude. I want to mispronounce and put any disrespect on his name. And then once you spawn in here, it's pretty straightforward. If you know, if you've done this raid before, you just go the normal way to the secret chest. I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit further, a little bit faster on screen because all the hard stuff's out the way. But yeah, you just follow this path that I take on screen, and it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the Vow of the Disciple solo raid chest you can get for those juicy spoils. Real quick, put a G-Horn, head to the Enclave for some free rockets. It's going to be useful to douse this projection of Savathun before we can even open the door and head to the raid. Just trust me, it takes 6 or 7 G-Horn rockets, not too bad. And then once you actually open the door, it's going to be very easy, much easier than the actual Vow. You're literally just going to shoot 3 hidden little worms hidden across the bog area. I'm going to be showing you all the spots on screen. First one's real simple, right next to the actual ship area where you first come in. It's right over here by this rock. Go ahead, pop your Sparrow, and then you're just going to want to beeline it all the way down these pillars. It's going to be at the very far end of the left side, and I just want to make a side note, you are going to die a couple times getting this. And the third one's actually going to be under this bridge over here, over yonder. I do die, unfortunately. unfortunately, it is what it is. You're gonna happen just because like the pervasive darkness is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So you actually have to go over the bridge. However, if you have an explosive weapon, a Wither Horde explosive payload, you're actually able to just like shoot it from the outside, as I do here with my Fatebringer. Once you do that, that is the third and final one. Just go ahead and pop out your Sparrow, and then we're just gonna head to this little back bunker area, and this is actually where the chest is gonna be. Unfortunately, my sorry ass does die again. Oh well, it is what it is, my guy. But yeah, once you do that, unlock all 3 of those little worms, this door opens to this chest, and that is how you get another free chest from the raid solo. There you go. So yeah, if you hit up those 2 chests each week on 3 characters, you're gonna be able to get 30 free spoils as a solo player, which is really, really nice. Let me know what you want to spend your spoils down below. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.